wrapping up this week's headlines, headline number 5, according to payments.com, Nordstrom announced this week that they'll be sunsetting Trunk Club, which they purchased in 2014 for $350 million.
Jeez, really that much?
It's crazy. So Nordstrom's 8-year run with its Trunk Club subscription business is coming to an end, as the luxury retailer said in its Q1 earnings earlier this week that it's taking customer styling efforts in a different direction with greater emphasis on in-store and online fashion advice. Nordstrom CEO Eric Nordstrom said, quote, customers spend 7 times more and report higher levels of satisfaction when engaging with a stylist either in-store or online, end quote. Noting also in this report that in-store styling was still the top choice, but the demand for digital advice was seeing rapid growth, thus the shift in resources away from Trunk Club and into in-store Nordstrom stylists and experiences. Chris, you have some thoughts on this?
I do. I have thoughts on this one too. I mean, I think this one's kind of a sad story to me in a lot of ways, but I think it's a lot. There's a lot we can learn from this story. I think, Anne, like first, I mean, the sad part to me is the acquisition, I think, was misguided from the beginning. Because if you stop and think about it, Nordstrom is about service. Why should Nordstrom customers have to pay a monthly subscription fee to get better service when you think about it that way? So it seems antithetical from the start. And then secondarily, I would say, I've said this on the show many times, people should never get caught up in the idea of subscription services as a trend. They're a function. The reason they exist is because they're a function of the business model economics of e-commerce. They help to defray the cost of shipping. That is their primary function. And so at the core, there has to be something to warrant the subscription, which is the big takeaway for me here. In this day of mobile shopping, clienteling, live stream commerce, which you just talked about really, articulately, there's more cost-effective ways to create personal relationships with your customers, both for retailers and the customers themselves. So I think what it signals to me too is look out, Stitch Fix. I mean, your days could be numbered here real quick.
Stitch Fix's days have been numbered for a while.
I mean, we've talked about that before, but like, this is just more fuel to the fire. But the point for me is really like, if you get down to it, like, it didn't make sense for Nordstrom from the beginning. And wow, that price tag was huge.
Yeah. I mean, I think they likely learned some things though from this experience about how to create better in-store experiences, how to make the Nordstrom site better, what people were looking for in those conversations with their stylist with the subscription services early on, because Nordstrom excels in like video on their product detail pages. They were one of the first retailers to have their store associates already doing what Firework is helping retailers do, where they are touching the product, they're describing the product in a video so that I have the confidence in spending, $500 on a leather jacket. I think the other part of this too is that Nordstrom has the quality. Like, these subscription services are fine, but the quality is mediocre at best. So they may have been able to capture a new Nordstrom customer because, they were offering a little bit lower price point through the subscription services overall. But I think you're dead right. I think that the point here is that Nordstrom can now take what is a better shopping experience for me as a customer overall, being able to see something, see a video, connect with a live person in the Nordstrom store if I want to be able to help me decide if I want to purchase it, and then get it that day. Like, in an hour, I can go pick that up from Nordstrom, who is best in class in service, and I know we'll have that product ready for me. We'll bring it out to my car curbside or ship it to me that day. Like, that is the prime experience that they need to focus on. So I'm not at all surprised to see them sunsetting this and focusing efforts and resources in an area to support the store.
100%. It goes back to what we said in the last story. You have to know your brand, right? Your brand at Nordstrom is service in this way you're describing. I think you said that beautifully. That's exactly what's going on. The other point I'd raise too is, like, I think it's funny. I think you do too. As I say this to you, like, when we talk about, we learned something, is $350 million worth the lessons learned from that? Do you think? Like, I mean, that's why I have trouble equating that,
2014 was a different time. I mean, that was, early on in the acceleration of subscription services. So probably made sense at that time. Now, no way. But
yeah, it's just funny. I mean, it's just word of caution to retailers that are looking at companies when they're sexy, and hopefully, finding the payoff from them in the long run, which is a hard pill for me to swallow. $350 million when you have employees clamoring to make more money that are actually working in those stores.
And to be fair, no one could have predicted the pandemic happening and accelerating all of the other retailers being able to put together buy online, pick up in store services and the concierge clienteling services that they did in the last 2 years. So maybe they could have gotten a little bit more runway out of that 350 million, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, fair point. But yeah, I mean, in hindsight is always 2020, and it's unfortunately it's one of the easier things we get to do on this show, but it's it's something to think about.